But, all right, let us get down to business and actually start our first season here with the Cardinals. Big fucking Mike, he's packing everything. How many times do I have to turn off? I turned them off once, and I don't even remember where the hell to go. Inbox, settings, everything's turned off. I'm still getting alerts. I hate it. I hate it so much. That's okay. But again, we do have our trade block set up for our oldest players, our best players as well. Rather than using the trade finder to immediately tear down the team, we'll stick with it for a little bit. If we get a trade offer for somebody, we might have to consider it. As we get closer to the trade deadline as well, we'll double check some things, but we'll see how we start off. And we actually do get an offer from the Tigers fairly quickly. Miles Michaelis for Alex Cobb. Yes, all $15 million of Alex Cobb for all $18 million of Miles. I mean, what's the point of that? I mean, technically, it gets me a slightly higher rated player, and saves me $3 million. But I don't even want to deal with the roster management out of that. We did beat Minnesota in our first 2 games, though, which is pretty nice. So that's fun. If the Pirates pass you in the standings, fire sale. Well, joke's on you, buddy. They're 4-0. They are 4-0. But the Angels did just hand us our own ass. We beat the Red Sox in 1 game. But we have our first bit of scouting to do. Lovely. So again, another look at the roster, like in terms of pitching prospects outside of Quinn Matthews and Tink Hentz, we have nothing. We have nothing there. So we could definitely use starting pitching. In terms of relievers, outside of Gordon Graceffo, who is terrible, and Matthew Liberatore, who is terrible, we need relief pitching. And in terms of closers, we need a project closer. At catcher, we do have Ivan Herrera, which is nice. We don't have too much else behind him, though, but it's not huge. A weekend and Sonny Gray is already regressing. Yes, he is. Well, he does have a 4.76 ERA through 2 starts, so. First base, let's be honest, Lucan Baker is not the guy. We need a first baseman in the system. We do have Nolan Gorman at second, but I don't think he's the long-term solution. At third base, we have nobody aside from Arenado. Shortstop, we have Weatherholt and Mason Wynn, so I wouldn't say we need a shortstop. Left field, we need a left fielder. Dude, we need everything. Center field, we got nobody. And in right, we at least have Jordan Walker. The list of what we do not need is certainly shorter than the list of what we do. So we have the same exact scouting setup that we've had over the last year or so, the last 2 years. And then the big question is, how much do I care about discovery? And I'm not sure how much I do. Good thing is all of these scouts have decent to really, really good discovery ratings. The efficiency is hit or miss for someone like Sosaya, but that's not too bad. So because we need to scout everything, gentlemen, let's work together here. Starting pitcher West, starting pitcher Central, and for Pennick, starting pitcher East. We are going to be looking at the pitching to kick things off. We got 14 weeks to try to find somebody that can help us out here sooner rather than later. Best of luck to that. Tigers offer us Alex Cobb for Steven Matz this time, in which I'd be taking on $4 million of salary, so no thank you. They managed to beat the Red Sox again, though. That's pretty surprising. Got a 5-9 start to the year, and it's not going to get much better. We need international starters. Oops. Give us West-based relievers and Central-based relievers. Again, when we need everything, we want to take at least a decent look at everything. Let's see. The Brewers offering Jose Quintana for Wilson Contreras. I mean, that would get us out from underneath the Wilson Contreras contract. I do feel kind of bad for, like, immediately getting rid of one of the worst contracts on the team. You know? I do kind of like the idea of suffering and having to deal with the management that, you know, came beforehand and having to deal with it. So, honestly, for Contreras, I think we might just suffer for a little bit. I think we might. Matter of fact, let's go set the trade block to reflect that. Sonny Gray's still got some time left, too. Helsley's deal is up at the end of the year, though. Fetty's deal's up at the end of the year. Honestly, I think we suffer with Arenado, too. Let's just suffer for a little bit. Donovan at 28. Romero's deal's up at the end of the year. I mean, he's 28. Yeah, I mean, the suffering's fun, right? It builds character. Do we have anybody else that's up there in age? Not really. Not really. Cool. We'll just leave it at that then. Leave it at that. Fetty for Arson Judge, 1-for-1. Like I said, I do that in a lot of games. I don't immediately like getting rid of like just the worst contracts and flipping the team around because, you know, I'm sure if the Cardinals could get rid of their worst contracts, they would do it very quickly. But, you know, sometimes you gotta suffer with past decisions. West base closers there. And we'll just keep building up towards this draft. Wow. Big 4-game winning streak. And the Dodgers offer us Clayton Kershaw. We're not going to do that. I do not need to trade a 32-year-old starter for a 36-year-old starter. Thank you very much. But we had a big week. 5-1. The hell got into this team? We actually started winning games. That's not a good thing either. I'm not happy about it. Closer Central, Closer East, and Closer International. There we go. We should still have time at the end of the window to be able to look at the top players because I presume we'll be up there. I mean, we're 15-19 though. We're not god awful. Same record as the Brewers. Obviously, we're going nowhere fast. Let's go Catcher West, Catcher Central, and Catcher East. Set those next 3 positions up. See if we can get that bit of an extra boost. Dude, we just keep winning games. Red Sox offering Giolito. Oh, God, no thank you. $19.2 million this year and next. No thank you. No one's offering me prospects for these guys, you might have noticed. I can't believe we swept Pittsburgh, though. They're only a game ahead of us now. And granted, they never had Paul Skeens on the mound in that series, from what I can tell, so that certainly helps. Let's go Catcher International. First Base West. And First Base Central. Again, just trying to get some general info. As much as we can. And then we'll focus in. Dude, we are such a streaky team. Steven Matz for Jock Peterson. Dude, my God, the Rangers are paying Jock Peterson that much money. I didn't realize it was that bad. No, thank you. Won't be taking that trade either. No, thank you. We are actually ahead of the Brewers and only 2 games back of the Pirates. Paul Skeens can only do so much. Let's go First Base East, First Base International, and Second Base West. Thank you. See what else we can find here. Astros offering Jose Altuve, who is listed as a left fielder. Interesting. So maybe what we looked through in the rosters before starting this actually wasn't fully updated. Obviously, I am not going to look to acquire 34-year-old Jose Altuve making $18 million for a guy who's also making $18 million, but the deal's up at the end of the year. Just interesting that the Astros, and that's tending to still be a thing, the AI being very interested in any deal that allows them to ship off a 30-plus-year-old player that's making any sort of money. They will jump at the opportunity regardless of who the player is. They did say that they worked, to my knowledge at least, they mentioned like working on the idea of not having players fall off a cliff at age 30. A little bit after that, because that was something that needed to be worked on. But in terms of how the AI views them trade-wise, I don't really know if that's changed all that much. But 24-34 as of June 1st. Were the solid offers, might regret this, but were the solid offers we're getting a spring training thing? Good question. Honestly, I think that's worth looking into. Let's see if that's changed at all. Gunnar Henderson, no offers. Adley Rutschman. You know, that's at least a slightly more sensible trade for Adley than what we were seeing before. That's literally give us your 3 best prospects for Adley Rutschman. That's not awful compared to some of the others. What about Aaron Judge? That's pretty bad, though. That's not great. Like, I get the idea of, like, Gorman and Mason win, but, like, Sonny Gray being a piece, you know? That's still not great when you are outright looking for, when you're outright looking for a specific player. Ugh. Still not liking what the trade finder looks like at that point. But if we are essentially being like, hey, what can we get? Dude, Sonny Gray is down 5 points already this season. He is plummeting. I mean, at least his ERA is a 5.6, so it makes some sense, but... And Wilson Contreras is out 1 to 2 weeks with shoulder inflammation. So if we were to look to trade Sonny Gray now, it's going to be a lot of offers here. I mean, Sam Basallo, that's still better than I would have thought from Baltimore. Edgar Caro. Kyle Manzardo makes more sense than the other 2 B prospects we've seen so far. At least with those 2 from Detroit, they're a bit older. Blake Mitchell. Honestly, the in-season offers for Sonny Gray seem to be better than what we were getting, even though he's now 5 overall points worse. Jackson Ferris is one of the offers. I'm not sure what to make of it right now. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit worried. We'll see. We'll see what happens as we move on. But so far, I do still have some concerns. Honestly, my key thought right now is it's like, damn, how difficult is this for these developers to program? Because speaking of Adley Rutschman, because every single game struggles with it. Every single one. What was the cost for Harper now? Not great. I don't know. Maybe there's someone that is the biggest Wilson Contreras advocate out there who would say, actually, here's why this would be a great deal for the Phillies. But might still be a bit easy to make deals for star players, especially over the age of 30. Again, like if you look at Ellie, no offers. You look at Paul Skeens, no offers. It is literally just if a player is over 30 years old and making any sort of significant money, the AI wants to get rid of them. They very much want to get rid of them. So, Cubs are offering us Kevin Alcantara for Steven Matz. That is a deal I will take. Matz is on an expiring deal. He's 33. Kevin Alcantara is not an amazing prospect by any stretch of the imagination, but if we can get rid of an aging pitcher for just somebody in center field, I mean, right now, center field for us is Ciani, Victor Scott. So, I mean, he's just kind of right in that mix of that type of player. Yeah, that's a done deal. We will take that. It's probably got something to do with the reworked relegation system. Yeah, I mean, in due time, maybe there will be like a justification found to be like, oh, well, because the AI's trying to make the big moves to sign the really, young stud players. Like, maybe we'll find some sort of justification. But at first glance, there's some concerning aspects, There's some concerning aspects. I did just realize See, I wasn't paying attention with the scouting. I wasted time looking at catchers and second baseman, and I should have done that. We would have been done with our scouting already. Shit. I had a feeling I was messing up something, but that's, what happens when you pay attention to chat and everything. So we'll see what happens. Angels offering us Ryan Helsley for Tyler Anderson, who's expensive, but his deal's up. So JD Davis needs to be good. He is not. That's going to be a no. That is going to be a no, and our record just continues to plummet. All right. So we need shortstop East, shortstop International, and honestly, for the outfield, we'll just look at the best of the best. So let's start looking at the high-end prospects at the beginning. And number one guy on the board right now, at least according to our scouts, Anton Reeves, which, I mean, we do need pitching. So, yeah, we'll take a better look at him. 40% scouted. Definitely take a better look at him. See what we can do over the next few weeks here to find our actual top target. Cincy offering us Nick Lodolo. I mean, we do get 5 years younger. That's not the worst offer in the world. I mean, I do think Lodolo could probably be a pretty steady hand for us for the next couple of seasons. He's having a decent year. I mean, a 3.86 FIP. He's having a decent year. Honestly, I'll take that, I think. Hey, he's got 2 arbitration years left. Betty's deal's coming up. We're taking that. Let's bring in Nick Lodolo from the Reds, get a little bit younger in terms of pitching. And we can take a bit of a look at the rosters here, but we don't have too much going on. Wilson's been playing pretty well. Nolan Gorman's out with a bit of forearm tightness. Okay, Big Mike needs to cut the shit. How many packs you opening, brother? Jesus. All right. Let's see. So we do know, man. Anton Reeves he's good. He is good. All right. Scout prospects. Also, are a bunch of closers up there. If we look at Big Mike, stop it. Jesus. All right. Top 100 prospects by MLB. Okay, it's not just full of a bunch of closers at the top of the list anymore. So that's nice. I know they mentioned they reworked it, but it's still worth checking. So thankfully, that's working as intended. So Gene Haku. Gene, man called Meng. We'll look at you as a starter. We will also look at Antonio Ramos. And why not Vern Erdman? The potential on you. Holy shit. But Vern Erdman. We'll look at you as well. That's 2 starters and a third baseman. There we go. 30 and 42 on the year. Not great. Now 31 and 46. Also, not great. All right. We still have an extra week before I got to see them. Did I not simulate? Or did it just not give us a ton of information about these guys? Am I going crazy? I feel like it didn't give us much information on those guys, if anything. Huh. Losing my mind. Tigers offering Matt Vierling, who is fine. He's fine. He's not going to make an impact in left or anything. I mean, he's as good as Brendan Donovan. But he's making $3 million for the year, and then his deal's up. He does have some arbitration time left. I don't plan on bringing back Michaelis. Yeah, I mean, we shed some salary for the rest of the year. Pick up an outfielder. Let's do it. Let's do it. I feel like if we were going to get a better offer, it would have happened already. So 5 to 6 months for Pejez, so he is just like out for the year. We do have Bernal improving quite a bit. Let's get Crooks up in the AAA. We'll have Bernal be the AA starter with Strauss and then Campos. First base, looking fine. Luke Baker's not doing too much, but again, I don't really have much faith in him to be anything. Second base, still not a ton going on. Third base with Buckberger, that's all fine. No major changes there at shortstop. So we do have Vierling in the outfield. Alcantara. Of course, Jordan Walker in triple just to develop a little bit more. He will probably get called up here shortly. Send down Alcantara. Vierling can stay on the roster. That's fine. AAA is 1, 2, 3. That's fine. Anybody else? Let's see. AA. That works. We have a lot of outfielders, and most of them are garbage. So I got Quinn Matthews in the minors. I got to call up some starters here after some of the trades. It's 1, 2. Matthews will stay down. 3. 4. Congratulations to Ian Bedell. Nope, we got a full 40, man. Uh-oh. Graceffo, you're terrible. Let's get you off of that list. This guy's also not very good. 2, 3, 4, 5 for Ian Bedell. There we go. So that pitching rotation right now is Sonny Gray, who is down 6 overall points since the season started. Nick Lodolo, Andre Payante, Drew Rom, and Ian Bedell. with Zach Thompson, John King, Kyle Leahy, Matthew Liberatore, Jojo Romero, Ryan Fernandez, and Ryan Helsley in the bullpen. Atrocious. The lineup. Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, Ivan Herrera in the 3 spot, Wilson Contreras, Alec Burleson, Nolan Arenado, Nolan Gorman, Mason Wynn, and Matt Vierling. That is one of the teams of all time. Oh, we do have too many players to the AAA roster still. Do we? Says we do, but we don't? What? Is it just because of injury? It's really weird. Oh, it's because of the waivers. That would do it. There we go. All right, we are running out of time on the scouting front. Vern Erdman dropped all the way back to 27th, the supposed #1 prospect in baseball. Not great, or at least the #1 prospect from this draft. Kevin Burris, definitely want to look at you. We also have Edgar Casto. And then center fielder Robert Day. So 2 starters and a center fielder. Because I did mess up the scouting a little bit, which doesn't surprise me too much. We are closing in on the draft. Astros. Okay, potentially giving us a little bit of a haul here for Helsley. Starting pitcher, Misael Tamarez. 25C and a 65. Not ideal. Narbe Cruz at shortstop. 24C and a 56. Yikes. Zach Cole, 24C and a 65. It's just a whole bunch of mid. I'm going to say no to that, and we'll likely end up holding Helsley until we get to the deadline, unless Evan Carter is enough. And absolutely, Evan Carter is enough for me to take that deal. No doubt. Is a slow progress to the low efficiency ratings. Could be. Yeah, some of the guys do have lower efficiency ratings too. Yeah, I mean, the Rangers want Helsley as a rental. They're willing to give up Evan Carter to do it. That's a no-brainer for me. I need a left fielder badly. That's not Brendan Donovan. Easy trade acceptance there. And it counts as a big offer with Helsley being on the move. Carter hasn't done much this year at the major league level, and that's okay. That is okay. We're going to add Nick Anderson to our 40-man. You, sir, might be the new closer. And we're going to have to call somebody up from single A to double. Go ahead and do that. And then in left, we are going to want to put Evan Carter down in AAA. And we can just drop this dude all the way down to single. So yeah, we have Evan Carter, Jordan Walker, hopefully tearing it up down in AAA for the rest of the year. Come back next year. Do what we got to do. Did you start in spring training? Sure did. All right, so yeah, Edgar Casto, we didn't find out too much about. We'll probably have to keep him in the mix. Okay. So there's still Casto. Just a total boomer bust prospect. There's Drew Young at shortstop and Fernando Cervantes. Our scouts like quite a bit as well. We'll just keep looking at him. Let's see. Fernando Cervantes. Any sort of challenge? Just looking at the new features, that's all. Although, honestly, the challenge right now is for me to not make a dumb mistake with scouting, because I butchered this first year's worth of scouting, getting my feet back underneath me. Although the big issue is, again, this team needs everything. It's a little bit more difficult to scout for everything. I wouldn't call that a particularly good trade offer on the AI's part, but it is Brendan Donovan on an expiring deal for DeVries here, which is not great. Not great. I will probably take it, but that's a decent little pickup for us in terms of another shortstop. Not that we need a shortstop, but that's a good problem to have with Leo DeVries. And we get rid of Brendan Donovan, who's going to be probably gone at the end of the year anyway. Like, he does have arbitration, 2 years worth of arbitration time. He has not been particularly good at the plate this year. I mean, good utility guy, but we have some younger players taking over next year anyway. That's a done deal. Has to be. Has to be. All right, we'll put him up in AAA. And, again, we do have nice little collection of shortstops. JJ Weatherholt's still there, too. It's not bad. Especially for how bad we are. And that does bring us to the drafts. Our first draft with the Cardinals. I am unprepared. I am very much not ready. But we will do what we can, given the circumstances. To be honest, I'm not really too worried about setting up anything because, man, we didn't get to scout a lot of these guys. Again, we just needed too much. So a lot of this draft is just throwing darts at the board and seeing what we can get. So we will see. We do have the 5th overall pick. It's Washington, LA, Seattle, Big fucking Mike, Colorado, us, and then Pittsburgh. All right. Fair enough. So we will indeed start the draft. Washington has the 1st overall pick. And they went, of course, for the guy that I wanted, who I'm not surprised went early. Anton Reeves. Anton Reeves, who does look like he could... I mean, he's at least a guaranteed B, you know? That's a really good pick regardless. Slim chance of an A, but he's going to have a decent starting overall, too. Probably, I mean, so far so good, but still very, very early. Let's see, the 2nd overall pick is Antonio Ramos, another starting pitcher, on his way to the Angels. Again, pretty solid chance, of course, of being a B potential. Overall, we'll see where that ends up. So, yeah, this whole 5th overall pick thing, we're going to be throwing a dart at the board and hoping for the best. As Gene Haku goes to Seattle. Again, at least a guaranteed B from what we knew of him. That's 3 starting pitchers off the board right out of the gates. Not ideal. And we'll see who Colorado ends up selecting here with the 4th overall pick as they go for starting pitcher Sam Finnegan, who we knew nothing about. He was 46th on the MLB board. And apparently they saw something they really liked in Colorado. So again, I'm in a weird spot. A very weird spot. We do know quite a bit about Edgar Casto. I don't know a ton about Kevin Kaiser. I also don't need a catcher or a second baseman in the form of Julio Alvarez. So we could go for Casto, who's not too bad. What do we got for him here? He was healthy. Signing motivations balanced. Looks like he'll have decent stamina out of the gates. I mean, you're kind of hoping he's a B potential guy at best. Drew Young, we don't know a ton about at shortstop. Apparently a good contact hitter, good vision. Not the best fielder in the world, but not the worst from a potential standpoint. Speed could end up being super high, and he's okay. Again, though, do we really need a shortstop? No, we don't. So it's still Casto. Elijah Hood in left, we know absolutely nothing about on 5% scouted. And then, starting pitcher from the East, James Bond. I mean, it's tough not to just go for the meme and to draft James Bond right out of the gates, you know? That's tough. That is tough. Third baseman, Jeff Ullman. Ooh. I mean, we don't know a ton about him, but contact, fielding could be outrageous. Honestly, again, I'm in a situation where we needed so much, and I did make a mistake in scouting the way I did. Because I lost focus. You know what? So when in doubt, when we're in a situation like this, it's time to meme. We're taking James Bond with the 5th overall pick. He's the guy. Welcome in, Mr. Bond. And we'll see how good or how bad he ends up being. But James Bond is here. And in terms of extra picks, we don't have another pick until pick number 51. So we'll just sim to our next pick here. And let's see who might be out there. Our scouts, from what they saw, did like starter Derek Fritz. We also had Leandro Mora up there. We didn't know too much about him, though. Draft based on best available or organizational need. Neither. Best name available. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, again, information-wise, it is thin. It is thin. So you know what? I mean, when in doubt. I mean, Derek Fitz has a chance of being pretty good. And we just don't know a ton about him. Or then there's Mora, who, of course, is listed as could be insane, might not be. We don't know. Let's go for Derek Fitz. Or Fritz, I should say. We'll hope for the best here. We'll hope for the best. And hope that these blind picks help. We do have pick number 67 in this draft as well. And a couple of outfielders from here. Or another starting pitcher in Alfredo Machado. So Juan Saldana doesn't look amazing. Sam Alvarez, I mean, from what our scouts know about him, a little bit. Super boomer bust. Let's go for Samuel Alvarez here. Why not? Why not? We just gotta hope to get lucky. We don't have another pick until 91. Tanner Monroe, we do have some info on, but he's got a decent chance to be a B. Not crazy, though. 67 to a 98 for Chris Gilbert. Alexis Alonso. Dominique Cora. I mean, there's quite a few of these guys where it's just super boomer bust. Andrew Taylor. Apparently Will Donnellan is got some injury concerns. Tyler, I mean, honestly, right now it's just cool. Let's add whoever. And Michael Gomez is apparently close to being guaranteed to a C potential. We got that going for us, at least. Yeah, again. Well, Tanner Monroe ended up being the guy. They didn't have time to fully pick everybody. That's fine. Honestly, I forgot we had the slower timer for this round. Worked out well. That still leaves us Josh Swanger and Nate Herrera for this round. There's Swanger, there's Herrera. Who else can we add to the board? Who else? Who else? Anybody that our scouts at any point have thought maybe they could be insane? Maybe, including Juan Francisco, whose overall is going to be atrocious. Okay, now it's Dewwinkle's turn to pack everybody. Even James Bryan, like, could be good. But let's just keep looking. Keep pinning players. It'll take somebody, but hey, at least it'll take somebody that we can at least consider. Because again, just because someone has that like decent low end potential doesn't mean their overall is not going to be atrocious. So we are stuck in just throw a dart at the board and hope you get something territory, as I mentioned. So Josh Swanger is in. And again, we need so many players in so many different positions. It doesn't matter who it ends up taking. So. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Anybody of interest? Anybody else, or have we hit the end of the line? We may have hit the end of the line. Except for Patrick Cloud. I didn't realize we were that close to the end of the line. Should have started from the other side. Okay. Well, we definitely don't need the shortstop. We don't need the catcher. We don't need the second baseman. Which means it is a whole lot of relievers from here. Whole lot of relievers. Darren Drake. Patrick Clyde. It's just nothing but relievers. Cool. Well, let's hope that Patrick Cloud ends up being good. We'll go with him. Welcome in, Patty. Hope you're decent. And then pick number 181. Nobody left. You hate to see that. Might be Kelvin Roussan. Jamal Birch. Chris Bonds. Well, we got James Bond and Chris Bonds, perhaps. Yeah, looking too good. It's a reliever no matter what. Bonds is the youngest of the bunch. We started with James Bond, and now we'll take Chris Bonds to wrap up the draft. I cannot say I have a ton of optimism about how this went, but we'll see. We'll see. Won't do the home run derby, but intrigued to see who's there as you get a look at the top 8 in terms of home runs. Kyle Tucker hanging in there with Aaron Judge, who, of course, could have been a Cardinal if I was playing this series just a little bit differently. But those are the 8 on their way to the home run derby. Now, who in God's name made the All-Star game for us? That's the question. Hey, Bryce Harper, you could get Eric Fetty for him. You could get Eric Fetty for him. So Paul Skeens is in as the starter. Shout out to Porter Hodge on the Cubs. You know, I'm shocked it wasn't a pitcher. Who made the All-Star game for us? Catcher Ivan Herrera. Okay. Honestly, that makes some sense. Juan Soto didn't even make it as a starter. They're playing Corbin Carroll. Mets fans. Chris and James Bond. Yeah, there you go. We'll change Chris's name. He'll drop a letter. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm not too worried about the Futures game either. Okay. Well, here we go then. First day to sign picks. Number 1 priority has got to be James Bond. We could offer a contract too, but I want more information about him. Same for Derek Fritz, same for Sam Alvarez. I am going to really take my time before signing these guys, just to find out if they're actually any decent, because we do not know for sure. Yeah, I mean, we still have some scouting to do. I mean, Bond looks like... He does look like he could be the real deal from what we're seeing about him. But let's give it a little bit more time. Especially because these guys would be the big money picks. All right. I mean, you know, Bond's still hanging in there to likely B potential. Fritz, scary that he could be a C. Let's keep waiting. Let's keep waiting. Bond now 60% scouted. Samuel Alvarez is looking like he could be a bust and a half, which does not surprise me. If we remove you from the board, I mean, obviously the demands from there drop. Let's keep double checking on old Sam Alvarez here. We got time to build up that interest, build up that scouting. Yeah, Fritz continues to drop. There's a chance this is not going to be my finest of draft classes, and that's okay. Bond is at least close. I'm gonna keep him there. I want to know, like, if he's a C potential, he's probably not worth the money. Cubs are offering a deal for Nolan Arenado. I took him off the block, and they are still offering Denurius De La Cruz, 23C and a 62, and first baseman BJ Murray. I took him off the block. The Cubs are the ones that offered. And this turns into just a pure cap dump for us. I feel like that's fair. Right? I mean, they're the ones that offered it. I didn't even have him on the trade block. Huh. I feel like we should probably take that deal. I mean, God, what are the Cubs? I mean, they have Matt Shaw, but he's not ready yet. I wish I could look at the standings from here to see how they're doing. I mean, we know that Kyle Tucker was an all-star. Suzuki as well. Arenado hitting .232 this year, a .654 OPS. They're the ones that offered. It gets us out from underneath that contract. I hope you know what you're doing, Chicago, because I tried to be nice, but you offered. Just remember that. Enjoy that contract.